at 2:15.816. Let's get an update from Jamie Little.
Well, guys, Tiago Medeiros walking down right now, getting ready to get in the car. Tiago, this is going to be your first qualifying attempt ever at Indianapolis. 2 days they built this car. You've only had 51 laps. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling confident. I mean, I had this like a dream keeps becoming true, so we'll see. I'm confident with the team. I had a nice car, it's consistent for the fourth lap, and with the time I was very good. I enjoyed the best 10 miles in my life.
Guys, he's been waiting all his life for this. He said he feels more confident than ever despite what's been going on with the car. He's about to strap in, and we'll see if he can qualify this car in the 33rd position.
All right, as the tension continues to build, he climbs in, and you zero in on the 33rd and final position. Remember bump day last year? A.J. Foyt always seems to get involved. He called Felipe Giafone. He was shopping at Babies R Us. He says, get your helmet and get down here, son. We're going to put you in the show. He did. He's back this year full time. Let's go to Jackaroo.
Well, the noise you hear behind me is the Honda engine of the number 48 that has just been fired for the first time. Who will drive A.J. Foyt's number 48? Well, you had a list of the usual suspects, but I've been now confirmed from two separate sources that Ryan Briscoe should be added to that list. Yes, that's right. The same Ryan Briscoe that is rideless thus far in the IndyCar series. Briscoe has just passed his mandatory Indy 500 physical. I went to A.J. Foyt and asked him for a further update. He said, Jack, I'm real busy right now trying to get Larry straightened out. I don't know anything about this car. I will tell you one thing. There are some crew members here warming it up. Stay tuned.
Always A.J. Foyt a factor when it comes to pump day. It seems like it's an annual tradition. We'll keep you posted on what happens with the number 48 cars. The excitement level continues to build. Tiago Medeiros is getting ready. He's strapping in right now. Now let's get an update on what's happened with Marty Roth. Vince Welch.
Well, this has been an interesting situation throughout the course of the day as Marty Roth has tried to qualify for his third Indianapolis 500. They went out early this morning, had a vibration in the car, brought it back in. Got some suggestions from Larry Curry and the Vision Racing team. Went back out on the track and rounded the speed up to 213. Have since come back into the garage area and are making some more significant adjustments, even with the help of a couple of Vision crew members. It has been a real thrash in here, but they're going to get Marty Roth together, get the car together, and get him out on the track for an opportunity to qualify. That's why they call it bump day here at Indianapolis. The drama continues to build as we near the top of the hour.
And you can see the look of concern on everyone's face there as the crew continues to strap in Tiago Medeiros. We'll tell you more about Medeiros. He's a 23-year-old from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now he has... Let's listen to Brian Barnhart.
On the racetrack right here at the end of the pit wall, all right? Get up on the track, start bringing your tires in. Paul's at the north end. He's going to wave the green flag second time by to start your attempt. Start your first attempt on this car. You get 3 attempts today.
Shift.
Once you start this attempt, run it to completion and post a number. You will then fill the field. Please understand, you're in the driver's seat here, Tiago. You're going to put the pressure on somebody else. You're going to post a number that they have to beat. The pressure then go to them. So you can be comfortable, relax, and just go give me 4 good, smooth laps. Green flag, second time by. Just like practice laps. Hit your turn-in points, hit your apex, hit your exit. Relax and be smooth. Smooth and consistent, put a number on the board, and make somebody try and beat you. If somebody does, you still got 2 more attempts in the last hour. So you're in control of your own destiny here right now. Be smooth and give me 4 good laps. All right, relax, breathe. All right, you got it. All right.
Some good words from Brian Barnhart. He has been through this process a lot more than Tiago Medeiros.
Very good words. I was really impressed with the speech Brian Barnhart just gave Tiago. That was very uplifting on his behalf.
But he's also absolutely right. If he goes out, posts any kind of number, it does throw the ball and the pressure on everybody else that's going to try and get in.
And the thing that I like, though, he said breathe. And, you know, one thing about Indianapolis, though, here, Rusty, I'll tell you what, you end up going along and taking the green flag, and you get about a lap into it, and you realize, I haven't even taken a breath yet. There is so much pressure on 4 laps around here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Doesn't matter if you're going for the front row or the last row, there's always pressure here at Indy.
Well, it's just like he says, go ahead and complete the 4 laps, you know, whether they're good or bad. You get 2 more attempts after this one's done. But boy, he just did that man a big favor, Brian Barnhart did, by calming him down and giving him confidence and letting him know everybody's behind him.
Let's tell you a little bit more about Tiago. As he gets ready to roll out onto the track, he'll have 2 warm-up laps. He won the 2004 Indy Pro Series Championship. Now, that is the AAA of IndyCar racing. In fact, the Freedom 100, he won that race. One of 6 wins that he had in that championship year. And the Freedom 100 will be on Carb Day in just, well, about next Friday to be exact, in this year's edition. So that gives you an idea a little bit about Tiago. Let's get more from Jerry.
And what about this car? 48 hours ago, this was a raw tub sitting on the shelf at Fernandez Racing. It didn't have a cable, a wire, nothing on it. It was simply sitting there, had needed to be assembled. 8 men working with Paul Datlevich worked around the clock 24 hours a day for the past 2 days. Most of them have not been to bed in over 40 hours to assemble this race car. Paul Datlevich was given parts to pieces from other teams. As you look at Ryan Briscoe now moving up pit road to possibly get in his car. But so much work went into this operation because Paul Datlevich is a very popular owner here in Indianapolis. And remember, he's the guy that gave Sam Hornish his first ride here. He's hoping to give Tiago Medeiros his first chance to be an Indy 500 starter.
All right, thanks, Doc, as you continue to see the warm-up lap now for Tiago Medeiros.
I like his line so far, probably the smoothest that he's been actually in this last day. And when you think about it, the most pressure is being put on him right now. But smooth lines, starting off high, getting into the apex, and coming out to the clipping point in the exit. So let's see how he does.
Takes the green flag. Remember, you get 3 attempts per car per day. His warm-up lap was at 2:15.785.
And you know something? Probably one of the nicest laps that he's even done, and he's got a great speed out of it. Maybe we'll see a 2:17, 2:18, which would put him solidly in the field.
We just might see that, but I will add, this is the hottest time we've had here in qualifying. This whole month of May, I believe the day is the warmest day. The track is probably the very slickest it's ever been, but the car looks real smooth. He just needs 4 good smooth laps right now.
Down through turn 3, the north chute, turn 4. Good and smooth on there. Hits the exit point. Will get his first lap time as he comes across the stripe. Tiago Medeiros from Brazil. And it's 215.759. So that is certainly a good, consistent lap based on what he has done so far.
Now, if he wants to put himself ahead of P.J. Jones, he just needs to find a bit more speed. And this is where he's going to have to start to do the breathing and just sort of relax in the car, because once you relax, you actually take the car into the turn a little smoother, a little easier. You scrub off less speed. When you're all tense, it doesn't take much to scrub off speed when these cars going through the turns. Remember, they're just 1,535 pounds. A little bit of a different drive than the stock cars around here, Rusty.
Yeah, he's taking a real high entry. Stock cars can't do that type of stuff. Second lap by 2:15.88, so he picks it up just a little bit, but not near enough.
Well, actually, that's his average, Rusty. His second lap was better at 2:16.016, so the average at 2:15.887. That is good enough to put him ahead of P.J. Jones in the bump order.
Now, it's important to note, he knows this information. He can either read his dash, the electronic dash, telling him his speed when he goes across a line with 3 yard bricks at the start-finish line, or he can get it from the management team and telling him, okay, you need another good lap to actually get yourself off the bubble.
Jerry, we're approaching lap 3.
Paul Datlevich with a smile on his face when he came by that time. This guy has worked around the clock, very tired, not known for casual smiles, but we're starting to see one. His driver needs one more really, really good lap, and he'll be in this field. Paul Datlevich with the stopwatch, watching and waiting.
He is still ahead of P.J. Jones's time and speed. Right now, his average 2:15.892. P.J.'s average 2:15.816. He has to be perfect on this final lap.
Just take it smooth. Here he comes in through turn 4 right now. You don't want any scrub because this leads on to the long straightaway. The front straightaway here is 5/8 a mile.
Bring it home, Tiago. Bring it home.
Datlevich tells him to bring it home, and he does.
You're
and
the
here
man,
comes.
dude. You're the man. Good job, good job, good job. Everybody, good job.
He did
Right,
slow
Tiago,
down on.
good job.
He did slow down on the last lap. 2:15.241. Everybody.
Paul Datlevich, unbelievable jockey. Congratulations, Paul.
Thank you very much, Dr. Punch. You know what we've gone through the past 48 hours, and you know, the boys did good, and Tiago gassed it, and hopefully that'll be good enough to make the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500, and that's why the effort was there.
You've been here so many times. What does it mean? What does this moment mean right now for you to be in this race?
This is exactly what it means. The hard work, the effort that the crew put in, the hard work, the effort that the driver put in, the sponsors, it all bears fruit. You know, that's why we worked the last 48 hours putting this thing together.
Hey, go celebrate.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The nickels and dimes, guys, and they have been waiting and watching and working around the clock, and now he's going to run down and meet his driver, Tiago Medeiros, who comes down pit road.
So the field is set for the Indianapolis 500, but then again, is it? You're looking at Ryan Briscoe, who has arrived. He is decked out in one of the Foyt machines, driving uniforms. Tell me a little bit about the call that went out, when you got it, and what's ahead.
Well, I've actually just been at home relaxing today, and I got a call from Mitch Davis, and just asked if I'd be interested. And so I wasn't really sure. I'm not sure of the situation, and I'm dressed and ready to go. We're still not 100% sure if we're going to qualify the car today, but I'm going to probably go out, do a couple of laps, and see how we're going, and take it from there. But it's absolutely last second sort of deal going on here.
Hey guys, check the smile out. He's ready. Wait and see if he makes it.
All right, one thing we should point out as you look at Tiago Medeiros, yes, he is in the field, but that last lap, guys, at only 2:15.2 was slow enough that it put him on the bubble. So the bump speed is Tiago's average of 215.729. So right now, P.J. Jones is breathing a lot easier.
Well, that last lap, he needs the smooth lap like we were talking about, but obviously a little bobble somewhere along there in lap 4, which actually brought the average down. So instead of actually giving himself some relief anyways, he now has to sit here for the next hour and wait on the bubble. And I think that is actually very precarious because I'm not sure that that's going to hold.
Let's go to Jamie.
Tiago Medeiros took off his helmet. Tiago, smile on your face. Smile finally on Paul Diatlovich's face. Take us through the green flag. First of all, when you saw the green flag, what did you think?
Well, it means the beginning of the 10 miles. I know we have 10 miles ahead, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it fast. They give me a great car. I mean, we still have a little bit, from what we run with this car, only 50 laps before we qualify. I mean, I'm really proud of those guys. They did an amazing job, and the car is very well balanced. And if we have to go back out and find some more speed, right now we already have something to compare. So, I mean, we know where to find more speed.
So if somebody comes in and tries to bump you guys are prepared and willing to go back out again?
If we need, we will.
All right, Tiago Medeiros. Guys, the drama doesn't end here for him.
No, it does not, because back in Gasoline Alley, Marty Roth's team strapping him into the car. They're going to be rolling him out into the line as we still have a little over 43 minutes left in bump day. And there is Ryan Briscoe. He, too, could be making an attempt here at Indianapolis. Back here at Indianapolis, but don't forget to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD. NHRA Powerade Drag Racing, the Pontiac Performance Nationals, final eliminations. Melanie Troxel looking to extend her top fuel points lead. All of it coming your way at 8 Eastern on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD from Columbus, Ohio. All right, we're still under practice conditions, and we're keeping an eye on Marty Roth as he has been motoring around the speedway. That's Dario Franchitti, and boy, he's another guy that's been looking for speed today, guys.
Well, Marty, right now, as we are doing this, the sun has set on turn 1. The clouds are over top of it. It looks like we got shadow on the racetrack. Marty Roth just ran a 2:15.94 on that last lap, so he's getting up to speed also.
Vince, you've got more on Marty?
Well, Marty Roth needed just 6 laps to get up to 2:15.9, and they said, bring him in and let's put him in line. So Marty Roth, the changes in the race car have obviously had a positive effect. Obviously, Marty Roth has gone out there and accomplished it mentally as well. So they are bringing him in. As you see, he's just pulled into the pit lane, and they're going to waste little time here in getting him in line for a qualifying attempt.
And we have just a little more than 30 minutes remaining in qualifying. So there are still plenty of moments left to try and punch their ways into this field. As you can see that they are conferring inside the cockpit. Meanwhile, what's going on in A.J. Foyt's camp with Ryan Briscoe, Jack?
Well, like anything else, you're trying to get everything done that you should have gotten done maybe a day or so ago. Ryan Briscoe got in the car, trying to get fitted for the seat. And all of a sudden now the media hordes have gotten the word that Ryan Briscoe's going, but a little bit of a problem with the seat when you got in there.
Well, just trying to get the belts right. I want the belts to feel snug, so they're a bit long to start. They got them a bit too short, so we're just getting that done. And I'm not really sure what we're going to accomplish here. Before I qualify, I'm certainly going to just go out and feel the car and see what it feels like before I can start going for a qualifier lap. So.
Ryan, hadn't really thought about it, but you have not driven one of these new Honda-powered cars this time around. I saw at least you had a little bit of time with the Honda engine. What did they tell you to expect when you go out there with that new power plant?
The shifting's going to be a bit different. I was just talking to one of the engineers, and shifting's a bit different. That's the main thing. I think there's going to be a lot more to think about than how to pull through the gears.
Can you hold your breath for 4 laps?
I can do it. We'll see what we can do here.
All right, guys, the drama continues.
All right, let's take you back 1 year ago. Scott Goodyear, you were here on pole day, and this was Ryan Briscoe.
This is an amazing situation because he is a very talented driver, just didn't seem to have a whole lot of luck. Anytime the car starts to go backwards, gets a little bit of air underneath the back of it, it starts to rise up, and very good thing for him that wasn't upside down, as Sam Hornish has experienced here previously.
Well, he looks like he's going back over to check on the car. I want to ask you, were you ever in the situation these guys were in on bump day in your career?
I've had a situation before where we have been trying to get the car up to speed, and you're sitting here and looking for speed on bump day, but never in a situation like this where you come here and you're having an opportunity to drive the car for the very last hour and trying to get yourself in. But I want to point one thing out. When he says the seat is not comfortable, for everybody at home, this is not like a road car where you open up the door and you sit in a seat and then you put your adjustable seat belt on. What this is here is these seats are molded to the drivers because you need to have the support in case you get into an accident. The seat belts themselves are a 6-way harness that goes over the shoulders. You can see those belts being fitted to them right now around the waist and also around the legs, and they come into a center cluster, and basically they are adjustable by taking the belts off, adjusting them to the driver, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 turns to get that right. So this is not just an adjustable belt like in your road car, so this could sometimes take 15, 20, or 25 minutes.
Rusty, I wanted to ask you, what was the most pressure-packed qualifying in your career that you can remember, and what was your stomach turning like?
One of the most pressure-packed qualifying attempts I had was, believe it or not, at the Brickyard 400 last year here. I was making my final start in the Brickyard. I didn't have as good a car as I wanted. I put a lot of right rear spring in the car. It got run pretty quick in practice, and I really honestly thought I had a pole attempt getting ready to happen. Marty went down into turn 1. The car stepped out on me. I spun it out, and I hit the wall. It was the first time I can remember actually spinning a car qualifying and losing it, and I did. I just had the car that loose trying to hold on to it, so I was going for it because of my last time around this racetrack.
See, aren't you glad I brought that up?
Well, that's okay.
Stay with us. The drama continues to unfold. Who is going to take the next attempt? A shot at making it into the Indianapolis 500. Welcome back to Bump Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The field is now full, and we have less than half an hour remaining to qualify for the 90th running of the greatest spectacle in racing. Glad that you're joining us. I'm Marty Reed, along with Rusty Wallace, Scott Goodyear, as we take you through the entire grid here at row number 1. Sam Hornish, Elio Castroneves, and Dan Weldon.
And row number 2, no surprise to see Scott Dixon and Andretti Green driver Tony Kanaan certainly finding some speed, and a single team entrant of Vitor Mira did a very nice job.
And row 3, Kosuke Matsuura, Scott Sharp, and Marco Andretti, the rookie sensation.
He was the fastest rookie on pole day. There's Danica Patrick with the Vision teammates Thomas Schechter and Ed Carpenter.
In row 5, Michael Andretti coming out of retirement, 2004 winner Buddy Rice, and rookie Townsend Bell driving for the Vision team.
Ryan Hardy had a solid month already. Dario Franchitti can't get it going yet, but he's getting happier. Mad Max Pappas.
As we take a look at row number 7, it's Eddie Cheever, a former winner here, alongside P.J. Chesson and Felipe Giafoni.
And row number 8, Jeff Buckman. Larry Foyt, as you heard, is still looking for some more speed for race day, and Jacques Lazier, who stepped in and did a very good job here at the last minute.
Past Indianapolis 500 winner Buddy Lazier. Jeff Simmons starts the middle, and my sentimental pick, Al Unser Jr.
In row number 10, it's Roger Yasukawa, Ayrton Dare, and Stefan Gregoire.
And the last row, number 11, Ari Leindyke Jr., P.J. Jones, and just recently Tiago Medeiros has now stepped in and filled the 33rd spot.
Only 20 minutes remaining to make it into the field for the 90th running, and they're out on the racetrack, the number 25 of Marty Roth. Let's get more. Vince?
Well, part of Bump Day at Indianapolis is how other teams come to the aid of teams in need. And Larry Curry of Vision Racing, you've come to the aid of this Roth Racing Group. You just had a long conversation with Marty Roth in the cockpit before you sent him out for the second run. What did you tell him?
Well, he was telling me that he was trying to stay down below the white line.
We've got a crash. Marty just hit.
Marty Roth.
That's too bad.
Let's listen on the radio.
Anyway, it was a situation to where, you know, with Marty that I think his confidence was so low that you know, here at Indianapolis, it's a difficult thing, and I just wanted to try to come down to see if we could help him get up to speed, and we'd got him up to 215.9, but evidently it wasn't meant to be.
You made some changes with the car before you sent him out the second time. Were they any significant at all?
No, just like a half a turn of left front wing, that's it.
Let's go back upstairs. Thank you, Larry.
Well, we talked about the fact that Marty Roth was living on borrowed time as far as his efforts here, because he had 3 spins, and the fourth one finally got him as he is getting ready to climb out, and there you see the tail end of it, just pancaking along.
And, you know, I'm not even sure that he got the safer barrier because it was just at the very end. Let's have a look there. Yes, he did. He actually did get the safer barrier, so a good thing for him, that steel and foam energy reduction system that's on these cement walls, and he's going to hit a second time now, and that's because he's lost his steering, probably has lost some brakes, but because he hit so late in the corner means that something either happened going into the turn, going towards the apex, or he actually had turned the car in and it got loose. We'll have to wait to see. Now, you know, he is just flat on the gas, trying to find speed here, which is always happening in the last hour. Kept his foot all the way in the gas, got the car a little bit high, Rusty Wallace, off the center of the turn, knocked down by the apex, and he ended up in the gray.
No, he was definitely completely out of the groove, Scott, all the way up in the gray. When you get up in the gray, you can't even steer these cars, so it's hard to tell whether he had a loose condition going on at the corner or else he was just real tight, and he stayed in the throttle trying to make a turn. Stayed in, and went up in the gray, and finally no more grip.
And I can tell you the other thing that might have happened here also, because he has been here twice but not completed very many laps. Because the sun is setting and you go into turn 1, and you live this here in the stock car also, the shadows, because of the grandstand, the shadows on the racetrack play tricks on you, and sometimes you can lose your place where you are trying to turn into turn 1 here at 220 miles an hour.
Let's check in with Jack Arute.
Well, the question now, with the field full and with this happening, with Marty Roth out of the mix, it leaves, according to my count, just this man here, Ryan Briscoe. Ryan, any update at all from A.J. Foyt as to what the plan is going to be?
No, I haven't spoken to him yet, so I'm waiting to hear myself.
You haven't spoken to him yet?
Well, not to A.J. since the latest development, so I'm waiting to hear, but really I'm not sure.
What is the plan? I mean, we've talked to you and I a little bit off camera about whether you would get a couple of practice laps or, if need be, just go out and try and stick 4 on the board.
I'm sort of getting into an alien car here, and I haven't driven an IndyCar in a while, and you know, I'd really feel a lot more comfortable getting at least a couple of laps in to get up to speed before going straight out and qualifying. I don't think it's worth the risk to go out and try and go flat out. Just to qualify, so time's not looking good, but I'm waiting to hear myself what we're going to do.
Jerry Punch, one of the things now I think people are saying is, what are the odds? Is this going to happen, or is this shades of Tony Stewart a couple of years ago? I think right now, with all forgiveness begged from the Preakness, I'd say the odds are probably about 4-1 right now of it not happening, but that's my gut talking.
Well, Jack, we all know that A.J. Foyt is quite a showman when it comes to television, and we'll see what happens, what unfolds. P.J. Jones, it looks like from our numbers count that Ryan Briscoe is the only car left to go, and if that is the case, you would be solidly in the field at 32nd. But no one wants to get into the field with something like this happened a moment ago with Marty Roth.
Yeah, absolutely. Marty's been, he's a great guy, and just had a bad incident there and taking him out of it. But our car's good. I mean, we just ran 17.5, and we were fast yesterday. We just when we went to qualify, it laid down on us. So we're ready. We can back it up and run, I think, a 17.5, at least a high 16. And we've been wide open since the 20th lap we've been here, and just haven't been able to get that 19 or 20, 220 lap that we're looking for. But I think we definitely have the speed if we have to answer to somebody.
All right, PJ was ready and poised to go out. If he would have gotten bumped, it looks like he may not get bumped. He may stay 32nd as we head down to Jamie Little.
Well, Tiago Medeiros walked out here after we saw what happened. His family surrounding him, all giving you hugs. Is that a sigh of relief as far as being in the field is concerned, Tiago?
No, they just got here. They flew overnight to get here, so I haven't seen them since February, and my father and my mom just got here, so really pleased they make it, and they are here to enjoy the moment with me.
Unfortunately, I mean, Marty Roth, he's been saying he was going to come out and make a run at it and try to bump you out of the field. How do you feel about your chances of staying locked in the field?
I mean, as I said, we have a very consistent car, and we know where to find some more speed if we need it. I mean, it's very windy. The situation today is very different from yesterday. Yesterday wasn't too windy, and now it is a little bit, and that's why people make mistakes today. Some Hornish, as a 2-time IRL champion, crashed. I mean, people make mistakes for nothing, and you have to be very concerned about the win here in Indy, and it's changing every moment that you go back out. So we're just pleased about everything.
Well, Tiago didn't make any mistakes in his run. And guys, you heard when Marty hit the wall, you heard him say, sorry, Margaret. Margaret is his wife that he just married last month. She's actually one of 2 spotters for him. She's up in turn 1, so you can imagine the feeling she felt. They have 5 kids between the 2 of them. Guys?
And we can tell you Marty was out of the car. He is okay. As you take one more look at it, this place can give you your highest highs, and it can be awfully cruel. It's just been pretty cruel to Marty Roth. Stay with us. "15 minutes remain on bump day here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as you look at smiling Dario Franchitti along with wife Ashley Judd. He hasn't had a lot to smile about as far as his race car is performing. He hasn't been happy with it since qualifying, and it's also not been a very good day for Marty Roth. Just before the break, he was out practicing, trying to get up to speed when this happened.
We looked at this a couple of times. It looks like he was just looking for speed, as you mentioned, Marty, trying to get the car to go around the turn faster. And by doing that, you keep your foot in the gas. And I think he just got too far away from the apex in the center of the turn, Rusty Wallace. And the car just got high and into the gray, and then you're just a passenger.
He never did keep it down low enough, Scott. He was just riding along with the thing right there because the front end took off on her. I didn't see the rear end snap or nothing. The front end just took up, got in the grade, he hit the wall, and that was it. I'll tell you what, I'm glad he's okay. He has spun out 3 times now, has not hit anything, and we're real concerned about him trying to attempt this lap because he was just on edge. And boy, this time he had another crash, or this time he did crash and didn't get hurt. I'm real happy for him.
We have seen this happen so many times at the Speedway. That's the pressure that bump day puts onto you when you are trying to make it into the field. Let's go and check in with Jack Arute.
Well, one man that knows exactly what that feeling is and is living what Ryan Briscoe is living now, lived it 1 year ago for the same car owner, is Felipe Giafoni, now the full-time driver for A.J. Foyt. Felipe, can you give any advice that I can relay up to Ryan Briscoe about this hurry up and wait attitude right now?
Well, I think, I know exactly what is going on through his mind. And but you know what? That's exactly the same car as I drove last year. And if I would be him, I would give it a try,
Guys, we're running out of time. But then again, I think last year, wasn't it right about this time when Felipe Giafoni finally turned his first couple of laps?
Well, and we have 14 minutes remaining. Will it happen? Or is this field set? We'll find out as the clock continues to count down towards 6 o'clock Eastern. The clock continues to wind down here at Bump Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. About 6 minutes remaining before the top of the hour. Practice is going on because if you were with us just before the break, with the crash by Marty Roth and the fact that they were running out of time, A.J. Foyt, his team did not even put the car out on the racetrack. So all the drama that was building with Marty Roth went away just that quickly with his crash.
And that's one of the things that happen here on Bump Day when people are trying to get in the field. But this has also been a day of actually all the teams that have qualified in comfortably for the field right now, including this team that we're looking at, Target Chip Ganassi, have been just putting laps upon laps in, Rusty. And so far, Danny Weldon with about 112 laps in the record book today, and Scott Dixon running there about 90 laps. These guys are running in tandem to try and get down to understanding how their car will work in race traffic.
Well, Chip Ganassi's team, Penske's team, Andretti Green Racing, all the teams are looking really well right now. Vitor Mira ran well today. Yeah, they're trying to run the clock out, get all the practice time they can. I'm looking at about 4 minutes left in practice here for today. And it's just get me all the laps you can, get all the practice you can, all the information you can for your team manager, crew chiefs, everything to get this in and done.
give you an idea how much activity has been going on the racetrack. A total of 2,139 laps have been run total today by all the teams.
And watch here, this is what they go out there, play with a little bit of drafting going on, trying to maybe take a look at drafting going into turn 1. Now, if that was a racing condition, you probably would have saw Danny Weldon, the car behind, take a bit of a look at it. We saw a little bit of that shadow in turn 1 that all the drivers deal with as they're going down there because the grandstands are putting a casting shadow over the turn 1 entrance.
You know, one thing I liked about this, Scott, I was watching Dixon and Weldon earlier, and they both had a little bit different entries into turn 1, and now when they get to follow each other and watch each other lined lap after lap, I wouldn't doubt they start self-adjusting to what they think is the best one, because who's right? Is it Dixon or is it Weldon, the lines they're taking?
Well, it's always a learning experience. The one thing that we have with these cars is we rely so much on the air coming over the wings, through the tunnels of the car to get the grip, the downforce that these cars produce, a couple of 1,000 pounds of downforce. And I know you guys can run nose to tail in your cars around here, and we can't do that in these single-seater cars. We have to sort of stick our wing on the outside of the car, about a half a car width, to get some of that air coming over the wings to sort of help and assist us. Otherwise, we end up in a situation maybe like Sam Hornish had earlier today where you just lose all the grip with the car.
Well, I'll tell you, we're not that much different. We call it the aero push. When we get behind another car, you really lose the downforce on your car, and so you either got to start down real low going into turn 1 and try to get some clean air to drive up underneath the guy between turn 1 and 2, or you got to be in front. And so downforce is very, very important. Here at Indianapolis, this was one of the toughest racetracks we've ever run for stock cars because it's so big and so flat.
Now, you may be wondering, if you just tuned in, why so many laps were run over 2,100 today. Remember, this is the last time these people see the racetrack until Carburation Day, which is Friday, and that is just a limited warm-up as you get your race engine ready. Basically, it's a leak test.
Absolutely, Marty, because you just want to put the engine in there, make sure there's no leaks in either pipes. We heard Danica Patrick had a small oil leak in a pipe today. If you have that situation, one of two things are going to happen. You're going to be able to notice it, get into the pits and repair it, or two, have some oil go onto the back tire and end up having the car slide out from underneath you, then you're out of the race. But you see these guys here working very hard, and right now Weldon sliding underneath Dixon. Obviously he's not going to challenge his teammate for the turn, especially here in practice.
And there is the official who has the gun in hand. When it gets to the top of the hour, he'll raise his hand, fire the pistol, and it'll be official. And Tiago Medeiros will be the final starter in the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500. Being told that about 30 seconds away as Target Ganassi Racing continues to motor around the track. Only a few cars are out there. Here comes the gun. And he has just fired it. It is official. Tiago Medeiros is in as the final 33rd qualifier of the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500.
You got to love it for a team that's worked that hard. Now, parents are there. He's so happy.
Let's go to Jamie.
Well, guys, like you said, his family flew in overnight last night when he got news that he was going to attempt to qualify. His girlfriend is here. Tiago, your eyes just swelled up with tears. We know how hard you've been pursuing this. How long has it actually been that you've been dreaming about this day?
Since I was born, I have a little tape that the guy shifting inside my brother's belly.
So you've been waiting for this moment. What does it feel like right now?
I mean, now we can relax. I mean, the last 72 hours has been crazy for us. I mean, you saw when you got the car at the garage, and then we start everything from the tub. And I think now we can relax a little more. And it's the end of the drama, so we can relax a little bit more now.
We saw your fellow Brazilian, Helio Castroneves, who's now one of your fellow competitors in the field. What did he say to you?
We've been friends since go-karts, and he said that today is a little windy, and that's why Sam had his accident. There's a wind picking up from between the grandstand and the building on turn 2, so the car feels very light on the rear, so incidents happen, and Mario had his accident again, so we have to be careful. We did our run, we didn't make any mistake, and now we are here.
You turned the fastest laps you turned all day in the car. We want to look back now at your final lap of qualifying. Take us back to the final lap.
Well, I mean, I didn't really notice that. I noticed when we were on the halfway through, I said there is 2 more laps, and I have to stay very focused. I mean, the car was handling very well. I had the confidence on the team, and we took the best of the equipment that we had. If we had to find some more speed we needed, we knew where to do it. So just was a very smooth run and very long 10 miles. I think the longest one of my whole life.
Tiago, when you got strapped in the car, Brian Barnhart said some words to you, and it seemed like you took them to heart. What did you feel about that?
He gave me a lot of confidence when we spoke to the qualifier. He explained me the situation. You have to like 2 warm laps and then green flag on the second time by, and then a 10 miles run for the qualifier. So just be smooth and with the car, and I think I did my best, and we took the best out of what we had. So now we can start to work in a better racing car, not only for the qualifier car.
Tiago Medeiros, officially the 33rd starter in the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500. And guys, we have to remember back to 2004. This guy dominated the Infinity Pro Series, winning 8 races, had 5 poles, and he has been waiting for this moment since 2004. Guys?
So now qualifying is over. Tony Kanaan signing a few autographs. We'll come back. We'll set the stage for the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500. It definitely is the racing capital of the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we're wrapping up Bump Day as we're getting ready for Carb Day. We want to get you the results now as people have been texting in their votes on who will win the 90th running of the Indy 500. It was a choice of Dan Weldon, Elio, Danica, or other. And here comes the vote. 52.9% said it's going to be somebody other than those 3, but Danica comes in second with 21%. Let's check it now with Jack Arute.
Well, I'm down here in the Fernandez Racing Team for Kosuke Matsura and for Scott Sharp. And I want to start with you, Kosuke, because you did a lot of practice today. This team logged a lot of laps. And I heard Tom Anderson come to you and say, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
What did you find out today? How does the car feel?
Well, downforce level and for the more or less like gearing, other stuff. And we just find, right setup and the right direction. I think we are ready to go.
Guy is fearless when it comes to running Indy cars, but I think his teammate's pretty fearless as well. But you told us last night, Scott, on the special that was on ESPN Primetime, that you like your race car and race trim, and yet you took full advantage of every available minute during this last practice. What were you working on?
Well, for us, we're still learning all about the Dallara. We haven't had much chance to test because we got the Dallara going right into the Homestead race. So any miles we can get is welcome. And there's a lot of things we wanted to run through. And just at Indy, I just think you want to be as prepared as you possibly can be. So we ran out there today and, did a lot of running with some really good cars, tucked up right underneath them. Tried to, play with the aero package, play with the mechanical package, and I think just settled on stuff that we felt was fastest on the watch and worked best.
With all your years running here at the Indianapolis 500, what's the confidence level this year compared to previous years?
Well, last year, we ran well. It's probably the best month I'd had, certainly the best race I'd had. And I was sitting in the car just a little while ago, half an hour ago. I said, man, I feel really good about this car. It changes. 30 cars out, the 33 cars out there, you can never quite simulate that. But I think as far as feeling like the grip level we have and the level behind cars in turbulent air, where we sit right now, I'm much more confident than where I was last year.
Fellas, come next week, I think you can count on the fact that these 2 dudes will be standing on the gas.
No doubt about it. They have looked good, very consistent all month long. When we come back, we'll talk to Tony Kanaan, who was 3rd fastest in today's practice. Here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, part of the celebration was Armed Forces Weekend. That's the U.S. Coast Guard helicopter taking off, heading back to base. Thank you, guys. A lot of fans had a fun time going through all the equipment that was here. Show you the first 2 rows of our grid. You know already Sam Hornish is on the pole with his teammate Elio Castroneves and Dan Weldon. We zero in on row number 2 for one specific reason. As you look at Scott Dixon, we've already talked to him, and Vitor Meira. There's Tony Kanaan right in the middle. He was 3rd fastest in today's practice. He's with Jack Arute.
Okay, now it's just down to the race. 500 miles, you're in the middle of that second row. You are so well known for your starts and your restarts. What should we watch for in the drop of the green flag in this 90th running?
I'll take it easy. Well, I think we'll just try to have a clean start, really. I would say that it's a long race, so you'll see some good restarts, I would say, towards the end of the race. But in the beginning, we're just going to try to stay in line and then see what we can do.
this has been a month that's maybe a little bit different than in previous months for Team Andretti Green Racing and for all the cars that are here. But when you look forward to the race next Sunday, are there things that get you excited about what you've got for a ride?
I was excited every day, when I was here. Unfortunately, for days I was mad, but I was still excited. I think every year is different. The cars are different this year, the tires. Everybody has the same engine, so I would say that, we struggle a little bit, but I guess now we found our way. I believe that to have a consistent car and to win this way, I think sometimes you appreciate a lot more, and we can't complain after the last 2 years what we did in this series. So I think it was a little bit of a reality check for us, and we got to keep working.
All right, tell me why I'd better watch this race.
Because we're going to fight like crazy guys to win this thing between 6 guys. I would say it's going to be between the 6 of us over there. And I'm going to make you stand up the whole race because you're going to see a lot of passing for sure.
Thanks, TK.
Well, if you remember our first stop on the tour this year back at Homestead, Miami, it was a barn burner, went down to the wire. Let's take a look as you look through the rows. We already talked with both Scott Sharp and Koski Masura. The top rookie was Marco Andretti. You see his speed there. He has still been quicker than Dad. Vision Group, there they are with Thomas Schechter and Ed Carpenter. You see Danica in row number 4. And guys, as we continue through the field, Mike Andretti still looking for more speed.
He's been struggling here all month, probably a little bit frustrated, but count on him on race day to make a good run.
Dario Franchitti, also another guy who's been extremely frustrated.
I've been really happy with Dario Franchitti's attitude of late. Early, a couple days ago, he was very unhappy, but he's getting his car better and better, guys.
Former winner Eddie Cheever, does he have a chance to taste that milk again?
Certainly a guy that's going to be after. He knows how to get the job done. But the next row, Jeff Buckman, Larry Foyt, and Jacques Lazier, guys that all have a little bit of experience but might make a factor in the top 10.
As we take a look at row 9, I know who you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm looking at Buddy Lazier. He's a champion here at Indianapolis. He's won the 500. Jeff Simmons spun this thing twice and still around. My sentimental favorite, Alan Jr.
And as we go through row number 10, there's Roger Yasukawa, Ayrton Dare, and Stefan Gregoire. In our final row, it was Ari Leindock Jr., P.J. Jones, and Tiago Medeiros. And take a look at our field separation, 13.2 miles an hour. The average, 222.688. If you're wondering what the largest spread since World War II, that was 24 miles an hour in 1983. Jack?
So we're down to just 800 left-hand turns that remain here at the Indianapolis 500. 32 men, 1 woman with hopes and dreams and aspirations. Some of them former winners, some of them rookies. We saw it all in qualifications, but the bottom line now, Jerry Punch, is to be atop of this board next Sunday at this time and be number 1 and immortalized as an Indy 500 champion.
And Jack, next Sunday morning, 33 of the world's greatest race car drivers will walk beneath that sign behind me, underneath the portal in Gasoline Alley, and head out to compete in the greatest spectacle in racing. 6 drivers in that field have won the race. The rest can only dream about it. Will Michael Andretti get it in his 15th and possibly final time? What about Sam Hornish? Will he get a top 10 finish? Will it be the perfect ending to the perfect month for Sam Hornish Jr.? Only time will tell. Jamie?
Well, Doc, Tiago Medeiros, perfect example of perseverance paying off. He made it into the Indianapolis 500 for the first time, but it was the unsung heroes, his crew members, all 11 of them that have worked nonstop for 2 days to get that car built and put in the field. We can't say enough about the hard work that goes in every day here at the garage in Indianapolis, making these cars raceable. Vince?
Drivers hit the wall today, Marty Roth and Sam Hornish Jr. Marty Roth won't make the race. Sam Hornish Jr. will start from the pole, once again indicating that the Indianapolis Motor Speedway does not discriminate. It can bite you no matter how talented you are. That's a thought all of these drivers will take with them to Carburation Day on Friday and the race day a week from today.
All right, thanks, guys. Don't forget to tune in Friday at 3 Eastern right here on ESPN2. It'll be Carb Day. And then next Sunday at noon, the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500. You'll see it on ABC. As we say so long for now, this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Coming up next, the 2005 NHRA Thrills and Spills. And we'll see you Friday at Carb Day. So long, everybody.